Welcome back YouTube, I have Ahmed again from In-Depth Tech Reviews, and in today's video I'm gonna review the Realme 7i. Based on the price, this is a budget-friendly phone, but it doesn't mean that you won't get some flagship specs under the hood. It has 90Hz refresh rate, 5000 mAh battery, 8GB of RAM, a 64 megapixel camera, and more. So let's see how good is the Realme 7i, but before getting started, let's make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified every time I post a new video. So let's jump in. Let's start with the design and build quality. The back of the phone is made from polycarbonate, or in other words, plastic, with a glossy finish. I have here the fusion blue color, but you can also get it in fusion green. I do like the gradient color on the back, and I see the blue and white colors match perfectly. But because it's a glossy finish, so expect to see fingerprints every time you touch the back of the phone. When it comes to the build, the phone feels solid, so it doesn't flex or bend easily. On the back you get the rear-mounted fingerprint and the camera module that includes 4 different cameras. We're gonna talk about the camera in detail later in this video. On the right side you get the volume rockers and the power button. They feel solid and clicky, so there is no issues here. On the other side you get this pretty long SIM/memory card tray. It can house 2 physical nano SIMs and the SD card. At the bottom you get the loudspeaker, a USB Type-C fast charging port, the microphone, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the front you get the earpiece, but it's only for phone calls and it doesn't work while playing music. Next you get the 16 megapixel selfie camera and a 6.5-inch hole punch LCD panel with 90% screen to body ratio, so expect an immersive viewing experience with the Realme 7i. Talking about the size, this phone is not small by any means. It has a 6.5-inch display, so expect to use it with 2 hands quite often. However, Realme added a couple of software features that can make your life easier. First, the icon pull-down feature. By a simple swipe from the edge, you can bring all the icons down to your fingertip and launch the app you want by releasing your finger. Secondly, the one-handed mode that can be activated by swiping down on the bottom edge of the screen, and both features support left and right-handed use. The phone weighs 188 grams, so it's not too heavy. I used it for texting for a long time and I didn't feel any pain or stress in my hands. Overall, the design and the build quality of the Realme 7i are well made for its price. The body of the phone and the buttons are solid. It has a modern hole punch design with minimal bezels, lightweight 3.5mm headphone jack, dual SIM and SD card slots. But the drawbacks are the glossy finish and no stereo speakers. Now let's talk about the display. It's a mix between a flagship and a budget-friendly display. First, it's a 6.5 inches LCD panel with 90Hz refresh rate, 90% screen-to-body ratio with a hole punch design, and 20:9 aspect ratio, which is a flagship-like specs. But the major downside here is the resolution, which is 720p, and that's pretty low. But I found the display quality to be good and the colors are well calibrated, so watching videos and playing games wasn't an issue for me. You still get vibrant colors and you won't notice the low resolution while using the phone unless you compare it with a higher resolution display. Also, the 90Hz refresh rate will give you smooth scrolling, which is a plus. Additionally, you can change the refresh rate under the display settings. You can choose between auto, which will dynamically change the refresh rate based on your content, forced 90Hz for the best experience, or forced 60Hz to save battery life. When it comes to the white balance, it doesn't matter if it's cool or warm because you can adjust it under the display settings to your taste. When it comes to the brightness, the display is not very bright, and to give you an idea, here is a video sample under direct sunlight, and as you see, things are not very bright. So if you're gonna use it in sunny environments, don't expect impressive results. So overall, the display experience is average. It's not too bad or too good. It has vibrant colors, modern design, 90Hz refresh rate, but with low resolution and brightness. Next, the sound. This phone uses one bottom firing speaker, which means the earpiece is only for phone calls. So let me go ahead and start with an audio sample to give you an idea about the sound quality. The speaker is loud, but the sound quality is not great. It lacks bass and the sound is tinny, so I recommend using a wired or wireless headphones for music. Next, the performance. The Realme 7i has a Snapdragon 662, and the model I'm reviewing here has 8GB of RAM and 128GB UFS 2.1 storage. The RAM and the storage are overwhelming for the price, but the processor is not that powerful. Playing a heavy game like Asphalt 9 on this processor will result in noticeable lag every few seconds, even when the graphics is set to minimum, but other games like Call of Duty and Temple Run worked really well without any lag. When it comes to apps, it works well and it provides acceptable performance. Finally, I will do a quick RAM management test. I will open 8 apps and 2 games to see how well the Realme 7i in keeping apps running in the background. As you saw, it managed to keep 5 apps and 2 games running in the background. Only 3 apps had a quick refresh, which is not too bad. So overall, the performance is acceptable. This phone is not for heavy gaming, but it works well with apps and non-graphic intensive games. Next, the camera. The phone has a 64 megapixel main camera sensor with f1.8, 8 megapixel ultra wide with f2.2, 2 megapixel f2.4 black and white sensor, and finally 2 megapixel f2.4 macro lens that can shoot at 4 centimeters distance. To be honest, I'm not impressed by the camera performance. Here is some photos taken with the main 64 megapixel sensor. The colors are far from natural. The photos lack details despite the 64 megapixel resolution. The software over-sharpened the photos so they look like painted images. The ultra-wide share the same characteristics as the main camera, but it's even worse because of its lower resolution and the higher focal length. When it comes to HDR, it has poor performance with a lot of lens flares and sometimes the image is blown out. When it comes to portrait shots, the background is always blown out and the colors are worse than the normal shots. Next, the macros. This phone has a 2 megapixel macro lens that can take photos at a distance of 4 centimeters, but because it's only a 2 megapixel lens, the images don't look any good. The selfies and selfie portraits are not great too. They have the same issues I mentioned in the previous photos. When it comes to videos, the Realme 7i can record videos at 1080p 30 frames per second using the front and the back camera. As expected, the video's quality is not great. The videos are shaky, with poor HDR performance and oversaturated colors. Now let's talk about the night shots using night mode. And here the camera struggles even more. The photos lack details with oversaturated colors, a lot of software sharpening and noise. So by now my opinion about the camera should be clear to you. This phone doesn't have a good camera. Now let me play a quick slideshow for the rest of the photos and videos I took at night so you can make up your mind instead of me repeating the same words over and over again. Next, the software features and customizations. In addition to the icons pull down and the one-handed mode I mentioned earlier, there are other cool features that can make your life easier. First, the face unlock feature. It uses your phone selfie camera to identify your face, so it's not as secure as the 3D face unlock in premium phones like the iPhone and the Pixel 4, but it's a good alternative if you can't unlock your phone using the fingerprint sensor. Next, the assistive touch feature. It's a floating button that you can place anywhere on the screen. You can use it to quickly go to the recent apps, lock the phone, take a screenshot, and more. You can also take long screenshots by dragging the screenshot pop-up towards the top. It will show you this cool interface that will automatically scroll for you, and all you need to do is to press the done button to stop scrolling and take the screenshot. Next, you can lock the phone by double tapping on an empty space in your home screen. You can change the home screen scrolling effect. You can customize the icons in a lot of ways. You have two preloaded styles or custom. And here you can change the shape, the foreground size, and the icon size the way you want without any limitations. There is also a dedicated store for downloading extra themes and wallpapers. And in the camera app, you can take photos using the fingerprint sensor, which is very convenient. There are even more software features, but these are the most exciting ones. Next, the battery. This phone has 5000 mAh battery, which is huge for a phone with 720p display and low-end processor. So expect this phone to last for a very long time on a single charge. From my most recent testing, the phone consumed 27% after using the phone for 3 hours. The display was set to 90Hz refresh rate all the time, auto brightness is turned on, using light theme and Wi-Fi only, no cellular data. I used mainly Facebook, YouTube, and played Asphalt 9. So if we're gonna do the math, this phone consumes about 10% per hour, which means it's expected to last for 10 hours on a single charge, which is impressive. Now let's sum up everything. The model I have here comes with 128GB of internal storage and 8GB of RAM. It costs between 790 to 800 dirhams in the UAE, which is reasonable for a budget phone. Now I will classify my conclusion into 3 categories: the good, the average, and the bad. What's good in the Realme 7i is the modern design with a hole punch display, slim bezels, solid build quality, the battery life, fast charging support, expandable storage, headphone jack, the price, and the convenient software features. And what's average is the performance and the display. And what's bad in the Realme 7i is the camera and the sound, which is expected because phones at this price range won't come with a good camera or sound quality. However, I recommend installing Gcam on this phone to get better camera performance, and I'm gonna leave the download links for the Gcam APKs I tried and worked well with this phone. So that was my review for the Realme 7i. Please let me know in the comments what do you think. I hope you like my video, and if you do, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.